My name is Florentina M. and I am 47 years old. I was born in a village in Dolj County and I am the second child of my parents. My brother, 2 years older, was their first joy and I was their second, although they had a poor financial situation. I followed the school in the village, then the economic high school in Craiova, after which I gave up college. In our family there is a professor and 2 secondary school teachers, but this hasn't motivated me to follow their steps. Back then, after graduating 12 classes, it was mandatory to find myself a job somewhere. So, when I was offered to be a seller at the cooperative in the village, I thought that God had blessed me. I was a slim young lady with golden hair, blue eyes, a milky white skin, delicate and with a gentle way of speaking, and I can say that I had a sharp mind for those times. I was kind to the villagers who came to buy different things, and I used to give them useful advice when they were buying one thing or another. In our village we organized Hore, which is a Romanian dancing circle, or we were attending the new discos in order to meet people. But I wasn't too eager to find myself a mate and marry. I was already 23 years old, and back then if you passed 25 as a girl, you were considered too old to get engaged. As I still had time, no lad seemed appropriate to me as to start a family with. I only knew the road from my place to the store and from the store to my place, and the only time I was traveling to Craiova was to get my salary, occasion which allowed me to buy myself things that I couldn't find in the shop in the village. A year later, my brother got married, had a beautiful wedding, and I became an aunt. I was still alone. I thought I was too ugly to be noticed, and as I had a weak temper, I was unconsciously imprinted that nobody wanted me. Meanwhile, I turned 25 years old, and then 26, and I started to think that this would be my fate, to help my parents to raise my brothers to girls, as he was busy building for his family a new house in the village. My old neighbors arranged me dates with their sons and grandsons, but I was quite reserved regarding a relationship and I couldn't let myself be given to anyone who wanted me. My journey continues with my parents constantly blaming me, believing that I will remain a millstone in their home. One day, a friendly match between two teams took place in our village, obviously from the 3rd Division, and the entire village attended the event because such a thing had never happened before in our area. I was allowed to close the store earlier and go to see the match. After the match, I returned to the store because I had forgotten my sweater, which I needed in the morning because at 7:30 when I came to work it was rather cool. I opened the door, walked into the store, took the sweater, and when I was about to leave it, 2 guys of the team wanted to buy a bottle of alcohol as one of their colleagues fell down and got injured to his knee. Even though the store had been closed, I turned back and gave the products they required. As I prepared to leave, the guys told me that the wounded football player is in the team's car and wishes to thank me for my kindness. They insisted, so I went to see him. The wounded man instantly put my heart on fire, and I got so excited that I could barely speak. I was just a country girl and the boy was a Dodger. He liked me and so he came to thank me the 2nd day and the 3rd and all week long until we got engaged and he made me his wife. My parents prayed to God and thanked him for my good fortune because they thought I would remain an old maid. We made the wedding, but my parents-in-law thought I was nothing but a peasant girl and their son deserved more. But this peasant girl loved their son, even though he mistreated her and cheated her every time he had the chance, but she never complained, not even when he had affairs with girls whose name he couldn't remember the next day. His glory has misled him, made him take a wrong path in life. If I dared to say anything to my mother, she would have told me that this is just the way men are, and it is a woman's duty to endure while the man has the right to cheat. I wouldn't have dared to tell my father. He would have said that I was born with all the good things that had happened to me, and that as long as I had a house, a man, and money, it was all I could ask for. I had a 3-room apartment, a car, and I was a homemaker. After a period in which I won money, followed a difficult one because my husband took his transfer to a team in Sweden where he was paid for his performance, and his performance hadn't been the most brilliant. In that small Swedish town, I got pregnant and I thought we would be better. But surprises were just about to appear. Due to the new medical equipment, I could see the little child growing inside of me, and so I got over my husband's treatment because I was about to become a mother and nothing else mattered. But after 9 months, when I finally hoped to be happy, I got to the hospital and I found out that the baby growing inside of me was dead. Damn the Swedish and their equipment. I wasn't even fit to be a mother. I couldn't do anything right. Days and nights followed, and I couldn't sleep. But God still hadn't left me. 2 years later I got pregnant again, and I gave birth to a boy. My husband was kicked out of the team and together with 3 guys, colleagues of his, walked away to make real money working in constructions. Expenses were higher now and life much more difficult. I've raised my child alone for 4 years, and when I returned to my country, to Romania, I felt satisfied because I wasn't lonely anymore. My parents-in-law weren't even curious to see their grandson, but my parents were happy to see me for a short period of time. When they realized that my husband cooled his relationship with us, they sent me back to him, but this could no longer have been possible as he didn't have a stable job and I never got any of his money. My boy kept on asking me about his father, but I always avoided the answer. When I returned to the apartment, I took a job that would allow me to take care of my child. First, I was a cleaning lady, and then, when I earned some money, I took David to a kindergarten. I kept on having 3 jobs, selling March amulets, sharing flyers for different companies, or cleaning houses for money. I didn't feel humiliated because I worked honestly, but I felt stressed, angry, and forgotten. When the child turned 5 years old, my husband returned with a small amount of money which allowed us to buy furniture for the apartment and some toys for our boy. The rest of the money were used by the former football player to maintain his mistresses. My boy started school at the age of 7, and that brought me new problems, but when I saw how much David enjoyed school, my worries vanished. My husband kept missing home. I continued living without having any other purpose beside my child. Neither my parents nor my parents-in-law wanted to see me. The only person who helped me, offering support, was my son's school teacher. Time passed. David was now in the 7th grade, but, like father, like son, he only kept the bad habits. When he saw his father beating me, in order to cover his inability to support his family, he thought his behavior was normal, and thus, quite often, he started screaming at me. I cannot fight back because I love him. I lived rough many times, but he doesn't understand that all my sacrifices are for him. Or maybe I hide behind words, who knows? Maybe it would have been better to step it up. Maybe not, but what do I know? If only someone could help me. Only God was beside me. My parents died, my brother and I grew apart, and the other grandparents don't even want to see us anymore. What am I supposed to do?